Planning a visit to Japan? Well, who isn't these days? It's one of the most visited countries on the planet. There's been over 25 international visitors in 2023 alone. Now, due to the slowing economy of Japan and the weak yen, it's made it much more affordable for visitors to spend in this country. Albeit it's still relatively expensive compared to other countries, but nonetheless, it's a lot better than it was before. In this video, we're going to dive into how cheap it is to travel to Japan using points, and we're going to compare it to how much it costs with cash. A lot of people think using these airline points gets a little complicated. It's not as complicated as people think. I mean, you do have to do a little bit of digging, but you can fly in business class or premium economy without shelling out the big cashes. So let's dive straight into it. We're going to compare how much it costs to go to Tokyo versus Osaka. Now, there's a lot of flights going to Tokyo, but there's also a high demand going into that capital. So you'd think the prices are higher or lower compared to Osaka, which has less flights going there, but less demand. So what's actually the better alternative? Now, let's face it, if you're gonna go to visit Japan, you're gonna probably end up visiting both the cities. Let's dive into what's actually cheaper, and we're also gonna compare how much it costs using pure cash. Most people want to see that amazing, beautiful cherry blossom season. And for 2024, that's happening at the end of March and the beginning of April. Now, cherry blossom season happens to be in a high demand time period, so the prices might be a little up there, but not too crazy. But using points, you can save a lot of money, and especially, which you're gonna find out, how you can use business class to get across without shelling out $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Now let's dive right into it. So we're going to go to the Aeroplan website, aircanada.com, and we're going to go to flights. The flights page, we got YYZ, Canada, Toronto. We're going to fly into Tokyo. Departure is, we're going to put in March 26. Start off with that. As you know, most people like to fly on Fridays or Saturdays at the end of the week when their work is finished. So that's the most popular departure times. So we want to look at the middle of the week where it's a lot cheaper. So let's see here, March 26th, end of March, to make sure we're there in the beginning of April. So we got Wednesday to Wednesday, let's put it in. What do we have here? The cheapest one is $909. Let's take a look at Tuesday. Maybe it's better. It's either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Nope. Then Thursday. Most likely not, but we'll take a look. $909 still. Alright, let's go back to Wednesday. May as well come there a little bit earlier so we don't miss out on anything for the cherry blossom season. So we got $909. We're gonna select, I mean, we can go with the most basic of basics. It gives you one checked in, one seat selection for a fee. We don't really need to select. If we're traveling by ourselves, we don't need to select. We'll go with the most basic one. Yeah, we'll keep the basic. And then once again, the cheapest one. Timing's not bad. It's a non-stop flight back to Canada. And here it is, $17.39. So I want to review the details here. We're flying from Toronto to Vancouver with this layover, then Vancouver to Narita. And then on the way back, it's a straight flight from Narita to YYZ. Now, let's go and modify this using the points. We'll search for the same exact dates, but now with the Aeroplan points. Now, I probably won't have enough points, but that's fine. It'll at least let me see how much points are required. As you can see, I only have close to 30,000, which definitely won't be enough. But if you look at here, this is amazing because if you see on the economy side, you're getting 92,118. But if you look at over here on the business side of things, hover over, it'll tell you how much of the percentage of the trip is spent in business. So it's a mixed cabin. Now, if you see here, first one is going to be to Chicago, right here, or we can go to San Francisco. Now, 2.5 hours of layover gives us enough time to collect our luggage and then reboard another plane. Now, if we look at the details here, what we see is economy from YYZ to Chicago, and Chicago to Tokyo is through ANA business class. ANA business is actually one of the best business class in the world, alongside Qatar and Singapore. So if we book this, not to mention we get 2 checked-in bags for free. Maple Leaf Lounge, because we're flying using business class. Priority check-in. Let's go ahead and book it. Now let's take a look at Tokyo to Toronto. You see here, there's a lot of mixed cabins for business/economy. But if you hover over, you'll see it's only 5% in business, 7% 5, 31, but the points are too high. These points are a little bit too high for what they're worth, so we may as well take back economy, which means in this case, we're going to fly United and Air Canada with the 2-hour, 40-minute layover. That's not too bad. We get this. Let's take a look at how much it's going to cost us. These are the options here. In order to see which option is the best for us, we want to put this in a calculator and see what's actually the best value, the best bang for our buck, the best use of our points. We're already saving a lot of money. Since we're flying business class in ANA, that's quite a lot of money. And normally Japan, as we just looked at it, it's going to cost close to $1,800. Now, let's take a look at which one of these is the best bang for our buck. I'm going to search up Aeroplan points calculator. Now, normally it's valued at 1.4 to 2 cents per point, but we can actually put it in the calculator to see its true value. So 75, let's say 75,900 points, 1181. So after inputting all 4 different configurations into the calculator, we'll have an evaluation of how much our points are actually worth. So to fly from Toronto to Tokyo, we will be able to determine which configuration gives you the best value for our points. Our first one is 75,900 Aeroplan points with $1,181. That gave each point a valuation of 73 cents per point, which is not the best. We want to target 1 cent per point, preferably 1.5 or 2 cents per point. So this one, it's pretty bad. The only good thing about it is 75,000 Aeroplan points is pretty easy to achieve if you do organic spending within a year, which I'm going to go over very soon. The second configuration was 101,200 points with $701. That gave a point evaluation of 1.03 cents per point, which is a lot better than our previous configuration. Our third configuration is 126,500 Aeroplan points with $214. A point evaluation of 1.21 cents per point. This by far is our best. Let's wait until we get to our fourth one, which is 146,927 points. That gives each point a value of 1.18 cents per point. Now, this is not too bad, but it's a lot harder to achieve because it's 140,000 points. So out of all these, the easiest to achieve is the first one, 75,900. Best one is the third one with 126,500 points. That gives the best valuation of 1.21 cents per point. Now, it's not a totally accurate comparison because we're comparing points, which is booking business class, to the cash fare, which is booking economy, it's not the most accurate way to compare things, but is a more realistic way because we're comparing going from point A to point B. So from Toronto to Tokyo, how much does it cost? There's no way the average person is going to pay business class to fly to Tokyo because that's $5,000. You want to spend something in economy like this, $1,800, $1,700. Using the point system, you can make it really affordable to fly business class. So there you have it. I would recommend either the first one, 75,000 points, or the third one, 126,000 points. We're back to the Amex Cobalt card. Now this is one of the best, actually, not one of the best. It is the best credit card in Canada. The only downside is that it's Amex. That means it's not accepted everywhere, such as Visa or MasterCard. Now, there is one category here that makes this so ridiculously overpowered, and that's the 5x points on eats and drinks. So if you go to eligible restaurants or food delivery or groceries, it counts as 5 times the points for every dollar you spend. But the trick is to buy gift cards on other places that you would shop to. If you're gonna pump gas at Petro, Esso, or Pioneer, go buy these gift cards for the gas stations at the grocery store. So if you're spending, let's say, $1,000 a month on everything, groceries, food in general, clothing, gas, all the other miscellaneous stuff, and you're gonna spend $1,000, which would give you 5,000 points a month, would give you 60,000 points in a year. So as you can see, 60,000 American Express points is not too difficult to achieve using organic spending. Now there are ways to increase this further. All you have to do is go on the Aeroplan website and go to the e-store. Now whenever you buy anything online, whether it's on Amazon or Apple or Sephora, use the e-store link and buy it through there. You will get credited at least 1 Aeroplan point per dollar spent. Sometimes it even goes as high as 5 points per dollar spent, credited to your Aeroplan. Now this is on top of what you're going to get using the Amex Cobalt. So you're essentially like double dipping, and this is completely fine with it because this is the whole point of their system. You use the e-store to get additional points. Now, if you keep using the e-store to buy most of the stuff, if you're a big online spender, you're going to be able to use the e-store to your advantage and gain a lot of points, and eventually be able to top off this. Maybe get another 10,000 in there if you can really push. Now we're going to look at Osaka. So we're going to book without Aeroplan points. As you can see, Osaka is actually more expensive than Tokyo. We should take a look at the points before we make our final decision on whether Tokyo or Osaka is better to fly to. As you can see here, none of the business classes are worth it. They're way too expensive. Cheapest option is in the Tuesday. The 50K is going to be the economy class. And once again, it's no go. But we'll select the economy and see how much it's going to cost us in the end. These business class ones are way too expensive. Standard, not too bad. But then again, we're flying business class going to Tokyo on the other selection. Now let's do the comparisons of getting to Osaka from YYZ with the 4 different configurations. The first one being 60,000 points. With $967, that gives a point evaluation of 2.05 cents per point. Now, this is amazing. Now the reason why it's so damn high is because the cash fare cost to go to Osaka is over $2,000. It's quite expensive. So it actually inflates the value of these points by a little bit. But nonetheless, 60,000 points is fairly easy to achieve, and you're only paying $967 on the side. This is actually an insanely good deal if you think about it. The only downside is you're not flying business class in this case. So let's take a look at our second configuration, which is $81,000 plus $582, which gives a valuation of 1.99 cents per point.
That's actually not too bad either. It's very close to the first one. Just requires a little bit more points. The third one is 101,300 points with $190. That gives a point evaluation of 1.98 cent per point, which is also not too bad. But why would you go with this when the first one is only 60,000? The last configuration is 120,327, which gives you a point evaluation of 1.83 cent per point. So out of all these, the clear winner is the first one. 60,000 is very easy to achieve, which you already know. So there you have it. We just went over how easy it is to book a trip to Japan using points that saves you a lot of money. And you can accumulate these points very, very easily using organic spending. Now, people like to do a lot of comparisons with Amex points and Aeroplan points or Avion points, and they want to see if it's worth getting these versus cashback. Cashback, you don't have to do a lot of thinking. You just use a card and then you redeem it against your statement credit. A lot of people like to compare these airline credit cards with cashback cards, and it's a lot to go through for the airline. You have to do a lot of research and book carefully. You got to book carefully. Take a look at the proper dates, take a look at the points, and then there's a lot more work that goes into it when you have all these points available. The cashback ones don't really require a lot of work. It's just, you just keep paying with the card and then redeem those cashback against your statement. But if you use the airline points, you can save a lot of money. There's a lot of people out there that don't know about these airline cards. And it's surprising. It's really surprising because a lot of these cards offer so much value. Now, I do a comparison video between the Amex Cobalt card, which is the best credit card in Canada, and I compare it to the top 3 cashback cards in Canada to give you a really good idea of how much value you're getting out of these airline cards. There you have it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.